I found this on your website, and it just really spoke to me about something it was a question that I'd asked as well. So, and it's from Advaita Bodha Deepika, which you say was a favorite text of Ramana Maharshi's. And it's a dialogue between Vasistha and Rama. Vasistha said so to Rama thus: efface thoughts of all kinds, of all things enjoyed, not enjoyed, or otherwise. Like wood or stone, remain free from thoughts. Rama says, should I altogether forget everything? Vasistha, exactly, altogether forget everything, and remain like wood or stone. Rama, the result will be dullness like that of stones or wood. Vasistha, not so. All this is only illusion. Forgetting the illusion, you are freed from it. Though seeming dull, you will be the bliss itself. Your intellect will be altogether clear and sharp, without getting entangled in worldly life, but appearing active to others. Remain as the very bliss of Brahman and be happy.
Beautiful text. Beautiful reading. Thank you, Anne. Normally I ask people to read it again, but it was quite a long passage, so you don't have to read it again. Did you post the link by any chance in the chat? Or do you have a copy of the...
I could do it. It's on my phone, but I could go to your website on the computer and find it and post it.
If it's easy to do, please do.
Yeah, I'll have a go.
And then people can read it.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's from the text, which is on the recommended reading list. It's from the text Advaita Bodha Deepika. Advaita means non-duality. Bodha means knowledge. It's the same as the word Buddha or Buddha. It means knowledge or liberation. And Deepika means light or lamp. So it means the non-dual light or lamp of liberation. The idea is that this text, Advaita Bodha Deepika, is like a lamp that guides us home, like a lighthouse, guides us to safety. This text will, if the teachings in the text will guide us to safety. And yes, this is one of Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi's favorite texts. And he recommended it to people, so I recommend it to you too. And it unfolds the whole of the Advaita teaching in a very nice, logical, systematic way. And in the section of the text that Anne read to us, the text is quoting from Yoga Vasistha, another scripture. And Yoga Vasistha is a dialogue between the sage Vasistha. The sage's name, the teacher's name is called Vasistha. And the seeker is none other than a young Lord Rama. Is a divine incarnation of Vishnu. And Lord Rama He incarnates and he has to find a guru in this incarnation for some reason. He finds Vasistha, and Vasistha teaches him the way to liberation. And their conversations are recorded in Yoga Vasistha, the text Yoga Vasistha. And this text, Advaita Bodha Deepika, is quoting from Yoga Vasistha, which is the dialogue between Rama and Vasistha. And Vasistha is teaching Rama how to attain liberation. He's saying, become still like a block of wood, like a stone. Forget everything. Forget the things you like. Forget the things you don't like. Forget it all. And Rama is rather taken aback by this and says, well, isn't that the implication is that isn't this bad advice, guru, teacher? Isn't this bad advice? Because if I just stay still like a stone or a rock, aren't I just going to become dull? Aren't I going to become dull and stupid and idiotic and regress? And Vasistha replies saying, no, all this here is an illusion. By forgetting the illusion, you become free of it. You attain liberation. So be still and be free. Thank you, Anne. I see you posted it in the chat. Yes, I found it. I've titled the post, The Ultimate Means to Liberation. The reason I've called it that is because in the text itself, it says this is the ultimate means to liberation. It wasn't just me being grandiose. Let me put the link to the actual. So if you're listening to this and you can't see the chat, it's a post on tomdas.com called The Ultimate Means to Liberation. I'll just put the link into the chat there so you can look at that. This is actually the last few verses of the text Advaita Bodha Deepika. You know how if you wanted to go to the end of the book to see what happens right at the end, this is the final teaching right at the end. So, and you'll see that later on in the text, Rama first raises. So this is the wonderful thing about these scriptures. It's because it's a dialogue between a seeker and a teacher. The seeker asks the questions that you might find yourself asking, like, hang on a sec, Sir Guru, hang on a sec, Lord Guru, isn't that bad advice? Because I'm just going to become dull and stupid like a rock. And then Vasistha has a chance to answer. And later on, Rama says, isn't this really difficult to do? You'll see. There's the next question he asks this, isn't this quite difficult? And then Vasistha will address that as well. And throughout this text, Advaita Bodha Deepika, the seeker is constantly raising questions that Rama is constantly, the Advaita Bodha Deepika is also a dialogue between guru and seeker. I don't think they're named. I think it's just generic guru, generic seeker. And the seeker asks the questions that a seeker may well ask. Very deep teachings, very clear teachings. And they have Bhagwan's approval as well. So this is good. If someone wants to very quickly, very simply understand the Vedanta teachings without too much fluff, without having to wade through lots of stuff, this is one of the texts you can read. You can download the entire text for free from tomdas.com. It's very accessible, I think, as well. And I recommend studying the text, learning what all the concepts mean, learning the definitions they give. Not too many. and you'll find you'll have a really good grounding in the whole of Advaita Vedanta. It's not a huge text. And as I said, the teachings are presented very systematically. Anne also read to us in the last part of that, in her last part of her reading. She read to us, though seeming dull, you will be bliss itself. Without getting entangled in worldly life, but appearing active to others, remain as the very bliss of Brahman and be happy. It goes on and yeah, please read this in your time, but the text goes on and emphasizes how important this part of the teaching is. This is essentially turning away from the world, forgetting the whole of what we call manifestation or creation. This is turning inwards. And the text goes on to say, without doing this, you can never realize the self, never. Not possible. Doesn't matter what anyone else says. Doesn't matter what anyone else says. The text says, even if, what does it say? I think it says if Vishnu or Shiva, even if Shiva, Vishnu, or Brahman himself should instruct you, realization is not possible without this one means. Without forgetting everything, fixity as the self is impossible. Therefore, altogether forget everything. Then the question is this not difficult to do? And this is that's asked by the seeker in Advaita Bodha Deepika and not by Rama in Yoga Vasistha. Okay. And is there anything you wanted to share about that text and any questions you had to ask?
Yes, I shared it because when I saw you for a one-to-one last week, I'd said that I was having difficulty going within and something was stopping me. And we talked about that and why it might be. And it was kind of this fear of being dull and no fun anymore. So it was just so good to read that and thinking, yeah, somebody asked that about 100 years ago, and yeah, it's the same thing.
Yeah, this is one of the fears that can arise, that we become dull. I mean, hopefully your jokes will be better than mine. You know, you'll not be doing the pizza monk jokes.
Oh, I mean, you're not dull.
Thank you very
No,
much.
you're not like
Appreciate it.
stone or a bit of wood. And some people I have come across.
Only on the inside. I appear to be young and occasionally lively, but
It's fine.
on the inside I'm just serene, dull piece of wood.
Oh, good. That's good to hear. Um, I mean, I have met people who are a bit like that in spiritual circles, and there's a part of you that thinks, oh, especially when I started out, I would think, oh, I don't want to be like that.
Yeah. You don't want to be boring,
No, no,
dull
or
in that way.
not be myself. Yeah, yeah,
Yes, yes,
repressed.
exactly. No, none of that stuff. See, the body mind is free. Body mind is free. So the body mind can do as it pleases. And that usually means the character starts to shine through. And the innate personality starts to shine through, whatever that happens to be. And everyone will have their own personality, based on things like genetics and their conditioning and their upbringing, etc., etc. So typically, the personality has this vibrancy to it. It may be a sense of humor, it may be something else. Usually there'll be a sense of humor there, but maybe that's wrong. I don't know. I think so.
I think so. Because it's less serious. I mean, you take life less seriously.
Yeah, that's it.
Because it's a bit dreamlike. Yeah.
Yeah. And there's a joy, there's a deep joy, deep connection that shines through.
So, thank you.
Thank you. But it is wonderful when you read these scriptures that these questions we're asking perhaps now, they have been asked 100 years ago, 500 years ago, 1,000 years ago, 2,000 years ago. There's almost nothing that hasn't already been asked, you know. The only exceptions would be like the technological things, you know. But that's the specifics. But in general, these questions have all been asked before and all answered before. As I say, nothing new under the sun when it comes to these teachings. There's a tried and tested formula that's worked for hundreds and hundreds of years and has not changed, hasn't needed to change. Fundamentally, the teaching is unchanged. I occasionally come across people who say, oh, that was the old teaching. We've got a new teaching now, which is better, quicker. Now, that is entirely possible. There's no reason why a teaching can't be improved in theory. But my understanding, my experience with these teachings is that the teaching was already perfected long, long ago. Understood, perfect. The teaching is within us. The treasure is within us, and the way to attain that treasure has been explained and perfected long ago. The direct path, which is Bhagavan Ramana's path, the path he teaches. It's the direct path, most efficient way, and the only way. And it's available to anyone, irrespective of what they believe or how clever they are or who they are, their station in life, all this stuff. None of that matters. Anyone can discover this themselves. It's the quickest way. Self-inquiry is the quickest way, the easiest way, the only way. Although you may not call it self-inquiry. May go by a different name, but as long as you're doing the same thing, you will discover the truth. As long as you go within, you'll discover the truth. The only way you can really get good at playing tennis is by picking up a racket, playing tennis. There may be other factors too, like getting a teacher, having good equipment. But you can't become good at tennis without picking up a tennis racket, getting on the court. It's not possible. Same way, not possible to attain liberation without going within. This is what Advaita Bodha Deepika says. It's what all the genuine teachings say. It's what I say to you as well. It's what Bhagavan Ramana says to us. He says this to us verbally, in the form of the verbal teaching in words, also non-verbally in our hearts. If we listen, it's pulling us within as well. If we stop listening to our minds, we can hear the silent whispers of the heart. It will pull us within. Thank you.